The Cleveland Browns dropped to 1-5 on the season Sunday after a 23-9 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Star defensive end Myles Garrett was asked after the game if it was harder to continue playing with the same results week after week, and he provided a one-word answer: yeah. Garrett, who had 0 sacks and 0 quarterback hits throughout the game against an average Steelers offensive line, was made one of the highest-paid players in football this offseason after requesting a trade out of Cleveland. Tony Rizzo rips Myles Garrett after no-show performance. Browns analyst Tony Rizzo went to town on Garrett during his ESPN radio show today, calling the star pass rusher out for his post-game responses and no-show performance against Pittsburgh. "I don't feel sorry for Myles Garrett. Stop with this expletive. He's not a leader. He's a hired gun here for money, and he wanted to leave your city and team. End of story." "Am I wrong?" Rizzo exclaimed. Myles Garrett was a no-show yesterday. He never plays well against the Steelers. Rarely. While Rizzo's rant was certainly bombastic, he has a point. The former number 1 overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft didn't want to be a Brown anymore after the 2024 season. After a trade demand went public, Cleveland handed Garrett a 4-year, $160 million contract extension that made him the highest-paid non-quarterback at the time. At that money, wouldn't you have stuck around in Cleveland as well? Regardless, the Browns move forward after their disappointing division loss and look to get back into the win column next Sunday when the Miami Dolphins come to town. Tomlin critiques Browns' trade of Flacco to Bengals. Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin recently voiced his concerns over the Cleveland Browns' decision to trade quarterback Joe Flacco to their divisional rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals. Tomlin's criticism highlights the potential ramifications of aiding a fellow AFC North team, especially at a time when the Bengals are grappling with their own quarterback issues due to Joe Burrow's absence. Tomlin expressed his disbelief at the trade, questioning the rationale behind moving a player deemed valuable enough to be the opening day starter. "Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a QB you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feeling," Tomlin remarked during a press conference. Arians joins the criticism. Adding fuel to the fire, Bruce Arians, a former assistant under Tomlin and ex-head coach of the Arizona Cardinals and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also took aim at the Browns' general manager Andrew Berry. During an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, Arians did not hold back, labeling the decision to trade Flacco as total B*******. He further questioned the wisdom of strengthening a division rival, especially when considering Pittsburgh's historical rivalry with both Cincinnati and Cleveland. "Why would you trade Flacco to Cincinnati?" Arians asked rhetorically. "If I'm going to trade him, I might get a 6th-round pick from somewhere else. I ain't going to trade him in the division." His frustration extended to the impact of the trade, noting that it suddenly revitalized Bengals receivers Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, who had been underutilized in previous weeks. "Now Pittsburgh has to play them on Thursday night," he added, underscoring the potential challenges ahead. Flacco's impact and the bigger picture. While the emotional reactions from Tomlin and Arians carry weight, the reality is that the trade may not significantly alter the course of the season for either team. Flacco, whose performance has been lackluster this season, is not guaranteed to turn the Bengals' fortunes around. Additionally, the Browns' own struggles, sitting at 1-5, suggest that they were not in contention for the division title anyway. From a practical standpoint, the Browns may have seen the trade as a necessary move. Acquiring anything in return for Flacco, who is unlikely to remain with the team beyond the season, can be viewed as a small victory, regardless of the destination. In the end, while the trade has sparked debate and criticism, it reflects the complexities of NFL roster management, especially within a competitive division. The implications of Flacco's move to Cincinnati will unfold in the coming weeks as the Steelers prepare to confront the revived Bengals on the field. It's been quiet, almost too quiet, in the Aaron Rodgers-led era of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And maybe that's a good thing. After all, it's been nothing like the circus that followed his short-lived stint with the New York Jets. In fact, Pittsburgh quietly looks like one of the best teams in the AFC, sitting at 4-1. With the AFC North dealing with a rash of quarterback injuries, Rodgers has been the division's lone constant. If that stability holds, the Steelers could make a big splash before the November 1st trade deadline and give Rodgers another elite weapon. CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin floated one trade idea that's raised plenty of eyebrows: the Steelers sending tight end Pat Freiermuth, linebacker Alex Highsmith, and a 2026 third-round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles for wide receiver A.J. Brown. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. The Steelers' offense could use an upgrade, ranking 30th in total offense, 263.5 yards per game, and 27th in passing, 183.5 yards per game, through Week 6. They're middle of the pack in scoring, 16th, at 24 points per game. But the real question is whether Philadelphia would even consider moving Brown. The three-time Pro Bowler doesn't seem thrilled lately, and tension between him and the organization has been simmering. Why the Steelers would trade for A.J. Brown? Adding Brown, who has 50 career touchdown catches, would give Rodgers another dynamic pass catcher to line up opposite DK Metcalf, creating one of the NFL's most explosive receiving duos. Why on earth would the Steelers deal for Brown when they already spent picks and big money to land Brown's former college teammate, DK Metcalf, this offseason? Benjamin wrote, because they're all in on winning with Aaron Rodgers this year, and their 4-1 start suggests they'll remain aggressive in roster building. Metcalf has already been a hit in Pittsburgh, leading the team with 4 touchdown catches. But outside of him, the passing game has been limited. Calvin Austin III has 2 touchdowns, while running back Jaylen Warren and tight end Jonnu Smith each have 1. Why the Steelers would trade Pat Freiermuth and Alex Highsmith? Trading Freiermuth and Highsmith would be bold, but understandable. Freiermuth's role has shrunk with the addition of Jonnu Smith, who came over in the offseason and has deep ties to offensive coordinator Arthur Smith from their days together with the Atlanta Falcons. Freiermuth doesn't have a major role in Steel City anymore, but he might offer both blocking and pass-catching depth as a potential Dallas Goedert successor, Benjamin noted. Through 6 games, Jonnu Smith has 17 receptions on 20 targets for 89 yards and a touchdown. Freiermuth, meanwhile, has just 8 catches for 76 yards and no scores. As for Highsmith, Pittsburgh's front 7 is loaded with T.J. Watt, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, and others, giving the team some flexibility. Highsmith, meanwhile, is often nicked up but a proven edge rusher, 29 sacks, 56 quarterback hits since 2022, to help fill the Eagles' blatant need there, Benjamin added. Philadelphia might also send one of its own reserve pass rushers, like Azeez Ojulari, back to Pittsburgh in this scenario. If the Steelers truly believe they're Super Bowl contenders with Rodgers, this is the kind of aggressive move that could push them over the top and make a loaded AFC even more interesting down the stretch.